So I'm redoing this series. This is also the first video with my voice in it. So without further ado, let's begin. This is the musket. It's the default gun for the infantry or ranker class, meaning it's free. It's also based off the Charvel musket, specifically the model 1777. Although its old model was based off the Brown Bess musket. The musket does 120 damage, has 10 penetration, has a range of 700 studs, a 0.5 degree spread, and a reload that takes about 10 seconds. The musket has the ability to aim in first person, which is known as ADS or aim down sights. The musket also has a bayonet, which does 55 damage, does 1 penetration, and has a fast swing rate. Couldn't find the actual amount of time since I don't trust the unofficial wiki swing rates. Can swing up and down, and has a range of 7 studs for downswing, 6 studs for upswing. In a charge, the bayonet does 5 times more damage, so 275 damage while charging, and it attacks automatically. This could be very useful for clearing out hordes. In a holdfast, the bayonet does 3 times more damage, so 165 damage during holdfast, and it attacks automatically. This can be very useful in narrow places. When becoming a cuirassier, the musket lacks a bayonet. The reload is also 25% slower, so about 12.5 seconds, and there is limited ammo. Now it's time for my opinion on the musket. I like the musket. I think it's a good weapon. It has good damage, a decent reload speed, pretty good accuracy, and the bayonet is just the music and hole sections. Plus, this gun is free, so everyone has it. The gun is pretty fun to use, as it is a decent bomber popper. In most maps, the bayonet can 2-shot chambers, and 1-shots of headshots, which supports my claim of the musket being good. The musket's reload speed and accuracy is another reason why the musket is a good bomber popper, although I don't think it's the best bomber popper. The actual gun part of the musket is decent. However, if the musket didn't have a bayonet, the musket would probably be kinda mid, thanks to other guns like the carbine have. So, the bayonet is the main reason why I say the musket is a great weapon. Because of this is why I don't like using the musket as a cuirassier. Holdfast with the bayonet is pretty good when in narrow places. In open places, however, it's still good, but not as much as like in an alleyway or doorway. The bayonet charge is amazing and devastating in all circumstances. Now it's time for some tips and tricks with the musket. Your main target will always be bombers and igniters. If there's a large horde, you can shoot into it to kill some zombies, but after shooting, switch to your melee, as it will be more effective. Never over-rely on your gun. Avoid shooting zappers. They have resistance. The musket is okay at dealing with cuirassiers, as it only takes 2 headshots to kill one. And maybe one of your teammates has damaged it enough. though I guess cuirassiers can be a target. When aiming the musket, first person will always be easier to aim. You could still aim in third person, but first is just easier. I also don't use ADS that much with the musket. In my opinion, the crosshair is actually easier to aim, and in times I use ADS, I tend to miss. When using the bayonet, I like to go into first person as it's easier to aim. I also try to go for headshots using downswing in first person, since this one-shot shamblers on most maps. It might be a bit tricky to do, as seen in the footage, but with enough practice you can start doing it a bit more consistently. You can also use upswing to make it easier to get headshots, but I like to use down more. If given the opportunity, always use the bayonets while in the charge. You can use the bayonet to melee bombers without dying. Don't do this as you'll still take a good amount of damage. Unless you're trying to get the No Frederick badge. Fun fact, I got No Frederick using the heavy saber.
On va leur percer le flanc!
Using the bayonets on runners is okay, although I would just use your secondary. Don't use the bayonets on runners closely packed together. The bayonet is great at taking out zappers. The bayonet is also good at taking out cuirassiers, since cuirassiers don't lift their head down when fighting someone with a bayonet, unlike most other melee weapons. Due to the bayonet's low penetration, use your secondary to save teammates instead of using the bayonet. If there's a teammate that's far away that's grabbed their tackle, you can shoot at the zombie to save them. Overall, I think the musket is a good balanced and fun weapon. Wait, what the? Subscribe if you want.